Catherine, everyone's staying home because of the ice storm. Christmas dinner is cancelled. Stay safe, my mom texted. I felt disappointed but understood. Winters in Nashville can be dangerous. What I didn't know was that this simple message would uncover years of lies and change everything for me. My name is Catherine. I'm 32 and work as an accountant. Until last Christmas, I thought I was just the quiet one in my loud, outgoing family. I always felt like I didn't fit in. My younger sister, Anna, was always the favorite. Our parents saw her as perfect. On Christmas morning, I made hot chocolate, turned on some holiday movies, and tried to enjoy a quiet date by myself. I was a little lonely, but I was used to it. Then around 3 p.m., I opened Instagram and Francie. There was a new post from my cousin. Perfect family Christmas at Anna's. So lucky to have everyone here. Family traditions Christmas dinner. The photo showed my entire family, mom, dad, aunts, uncles, cousins, even my grandmother sitting around Anna's beautiful table, laughing and wearing festive clothes. I wasn't there. I had been left out on purpose. Through the window in the photo, the sky was clear and sunny. There was no ice storm. There never had been. I kept scrolling through more photos. My dad carving the turkey, my mom with her famous Christmas cookies, the kids opening presents. They had lied to me. I wasn't invited. I felt sick. How many other times had they done this? Told me something was cancelled when it wasn't. Had they been secretly leaving me out for years? The next morning, my phone rang. It was my mom, acting normal. Hi honey, hope you had a nice, quiet Christmas. We missed you. Her fake cheerfulness made my fists clench. Looking back, I realized I had spent my life trying to be the good daughter. I helped with chores, got straight A's, and even gave up art school to study accounting because my parents thought it was more practical. Anna, on the other hand, did whatever she wanted. She dropped out of college to be a yoga teacher, and they praised her for being brave. I worked overtime to help them pay off their house, and they barely said thank you. 3 years ago, when Dad needed surgery, I took 3 weeks off work to take care of him. I did everything: cooked, cleaned, drove him around. Anna came by once, took selfies, and left for a yoga retreat, but somehow, my parents acted like she was the caring daughter. My aunts weren't any better. At family events, they always talked about Anna's free spirit and told me I should learn to have fun. When I helped my mom cook for Thanksgiving last month, she later told everyone Anna had done all the work while I Saturday around. I stayed quiet, like always. When Anna said she'd host Christmas, I offered to help. She said no, she wanted it to be perfect. I should have seen the signs, but I still believed our family cared. I still hoped to be included. The truth is, I spent years trying to earn their love, telling myself they meant well. I thought if I worked harder or gave more, they'd accept me. But now, staring at the photos on my laptop, I couldn't ignore it anymore. My mom's voice brought me back. Hi honey, hope you had a nice, quiet Christmas. We missed you. I took a breath and said, really? Because Nina's Instagram shows everyone had a great time at Anna's. Everyone except me. There was silence. Then my mom started making excuses. Well, it was last minute, and you know how quiet you are at gatherings. Sometimes it makes things uncomfortable. We just thought. Thought what? I asked. That lying to me and leaving me alone on Christmas was better. Don't be so dramatic, she sighed. We just didn't want anything awkward. Anna wanted everything to be perfect. And that's when it hit me. This wasn't new. The cancelled events, the surprise family parties I somehow never heard about, it was a pattern. They had been leaving me out for years. I asked softly, how many times have you lied about family get-togethers? There was a long silence. Then my mom said, Catherine, you're being too sensitive. This is exactly why. Why what? I interrupted. Why you leave me out? Why you act like I don't exist unless you need something? Why Anna is the perfect daughter, while I'm treated like a burden? That's not fair, she said. We love you both, but Anna makes more of an effort. You're always too busy with work. I let out a bitter laugh. Too busy? You mean working overtime to help pay your mortgage, taking care of Dad after his surgery, that kind of busy? Her tone changed. If you're going to act like this, maybe we need some space. Call me when you're ready to be reasonable. Then she hung up. I sat there, staring at my phone, feeling like 32 years of my life suddenly made sense. All the times they ignored me or made excuses, it hadn't been accidental. It had been on purpose. I wasn't the problem. I never was. That was the moment I stopped making excuses for them. I realized the truth. I didn't have a real family. I had people who shared my blood, but treated me like I didn't matter. Something inside me broke. I was done being their doormat. I opened my laptop and wrote an email to every one of my parents, sister, aunts, uncles, and cousins. I saw the Christmas photos. I typed, "You told me dinner was canceled because of an ice storm." That was a lie. You all gathered without me. I attached screenshots of my mom's fake "stay safe" text and Instagram photos of the dinner. I sent the email before I could change my mind. Replies came fast. Anne-Marie said they forgot to update me. Uncle Robert told me I was overreacting. My cousin, who had posted the photos, deleted them and said I was creating drama. I sent a long, insulting message. She said I didn't like family events anyway and claimed it was better for me not to be there. She said leaving me out was for my own good. But my parents' reaction showed their true colors. Instead of apologizing, they tried to make me look bad. My mom called family friends and told them I was having a breakdown. My dad sent an angry email saying I shouldn't have aired our dirty laundry. Then Anna texted, "You've really done it now. Mom's crying. Everyone's upset. This is exactly why we didn't invite you." I felt like I was in a nightmare. I told the truth, and now I was the villain. The more I stood my ground, the worse it got. My mom showed up at my office, causing a scene in the lobby. On a post online about toxic people and choosing peace. My dad even said he'd cut me out of his will if I didn't fall in line. But instead of feeling scared, I felt stronger. I finally saw them for what they were, not a family trying to protect itself, but a toxic group trying to control me. I realized I had to do more than speak up. I had to walk away for good. Then something unexpected happened. A week later, I got a message from Rachel, an old family friend who used to manage my parents' finances. "Catherine, I've seen what's happening. There's something you need to know. Can we meet?" We met at a quiet cafe. Rachel looked nervous and handed me a manila envelope. "I felt guilty for years," she said. "Your dad made me promise not to say anything. But after seeing how they're treating you, I can't stay silent." Inside were bank records and legal documents from 15 years ago. As I read them, I felt my hands shake. My grandfather had left nearly $300,000 for me for my education and future. I never knew about it. "Your dad was the trustee," Rachel explained. "He was supposed to give you the money when you turned 25, but instead, he gave it all to Anna for her lifestyle and failed businesses." I was stunned. I had worked multiple jobs to pay for my degree. I still had student loans. I had even helped my parents with their bills while they were secretly spending my inheritance. "There's more," Rachel added. "My grandfather had also left his properties to be split between Anna and me, but my parents sold them all. They used a power of attorney. They tricked me into signing when I was 18. They told me it was just for emergency medical stuff. That one signature gave them full control over my finances. They took my inheritance and used it to fund Anna's yoga studios, retreats in Bali, and every adventure they praised her. For a while they ignored my hard work and called my job boring." "Why are you telling me this now?" I asked, barely holding it together. "Because your mom's trying to ruin your reputation," Rachel said. "She's calling you unstable online. They want to destroy your careerability before you find out the truth. What they've done isn't just wrong, it's illegal." Suddenly, everything made sense. The lies, the gaslighting, the threats, the smear campaign, the will. They weren't protecting a family secret. They were trying to hide a crime. I took the documents, looked Rachel in the eye, and said, "Thank you, I know exactly what I need to do." This wasn't just about Christmas anymore. It was about justice. And as an accountant trained in tracking financial fraud, I was the perfect person to bring the truth to light. With Rachel's help, I spent a full week building my case, every fake signature, every stolen dollar, every illegal transfer. I also hired Sarah Chan, a lawyer who specializes in estate fraud. After reviewing the documents, she said, "This is a clear case of financial exploitation. We can press criminal charges if you're ready." And I was. Because this time, they would finally be held accountable. Filing a criminal case would ruin my family's reputation, but they had already ruined our relationship. Still, I decided to give them one last chance. I sent an email to my parents and Anna, asking to meet and work things out. They quickly agreed, probably thinking they could talk me into backing down. We planned to meet at my apartment that Saturday. Before they arrived, I set up 3 folders on my dining table, one for each of them. Inside were documents showing all the financial lies, plus a letter from my lawyer giving them a choice: return the remaining money and sign a written confession, or face criminal charges. They arrived looking confident, expecting me to say sorry. My mom smiled and said, "Catherine, we're so glad you've come to your senses." I stopped her and slid the folders over. "Before you say anything, read this." My dad went pale as he read. Anna's hands trembled. My mom tried to stay calm. "This is ridiculous," she snapped. "You're blackmailing your own family." I shook my head. "No, I'm giving you a choice. Pay back what you stole and admit it, or I'll go to the police. Rachel is ready to testify." My dad said, "Rachel had no right." "You had no right," I said firmly. "You stole from me for years. You used a power of attorney. I didn't understand to sell property that was mine. You gave Anna my inheritance." Anna started crying. "I didn't know. They told me it was their savings." I looked her in the eye. "Don't lie. The money was sent directly to your accounts. You knew." My mom tried a new angle. "Think about the family. What will people say?" I replied, "You should have thought about that before stealing from me. You have 48 hours. Sign the confession and return the money, or I'll go to the police." They left quickly, panicked. My dad practically dragged them out. Later, the family group chat exploded. Everyone took their side, as expected, but I stayed calm. I had the facts and the truth. That evening, I told my lawyer, "The ball's in their court, but I doubt they'll do the right thing." And I was right. The 48-hour deadline passed. They didn't sign anything or return the money. Instead, they tried to hide the evidence: closed bank accounts, shredded papers, even pressured Rachel to stay quiet. But I had already sent everything to the authorities. The next morning, I officially filed charges. By the afternoon, police were at their homes with search warrants. I watched from my office as the story unfolded. My dad was arrested at work. Anna's yoga studio was shut down. It had been bought with stolen money. My mom was arrested at a charity event, in front of everyone. The group chat lit up again, but this time, no one defended them. Now the truth was public. Even the local paper ran a story on their downfall. Later, I got a text from Rachel. "You did the right thing. Your grandfather would be proud." She was right. This wasn't about revenge anymore. It was about justice. I didn't feel happy. I felt relieved. The truth was out. I was finally free. 1 year later, I was sitting in my new home in Denver, watching the snow fall. The court case had ended. My parents accepted plea deals and had to repay the money. Anna lost her yoga business and now works as a receptionist. Their perfect family image was gone. Most of our relatives stopped speaking to me, but I realized he didn't miss them. Instead, I found new people, friends who cared about honesty, co-workers who respected me, and a few cousins who apologized and wanted to reconnect. Rachel visited recently. Over coffee, she gave me an old photo album of me and my grandfather. One photo showed him teaching me to fish, both of us smiling. "He always said you were the strong one," Rachel said. "He knew that favored Anna, but he believed you'd rise above it." I smiled softly, touching the photo. My grandfather had tried to protect my future, and in the end, he gave me more than Money. He gave me the courage to stand up for myself. And that gave me something priceless, the freedom to live life on my own terms. Sometimes, the best revenge isn't hurting those who hurt you. It's finally walking away and never looking back.